You'd kind of imagine that after playing something like Wembley Stadium and playing to 85,000 people, God, what do we do now?
Yeah, that's good.
And it's the same way with records, in a way. This is our 7th record. What could we possibly do that's different than the last thing we had done?
B?
And I thought, well, I want to do the next one in the garage. It's about making records the way we used to make records. But let's do it with Butch Vig, so it's huge.
Butch Vig, you know, is probably most well known for doing Nevermind, the Nirvana record, and but he's done, you know, a ton of stuff through the years. You know, he did the last Green Day record, and he was in Garbage, and he's been a working producer for a long time.
Dave said, I want to make the record in my garage, and then he said, what do you think about making the record on tape?
I want to get away from what people think we should do.
I learned how to make records on tape, and there's something about that process that I love, but you can't fix things like when you're working purely in a digital format. And that's the first thing I said to the band. If we're going to do this on tape, you guys have to play really well because nothing's going to be fixed.
I think most people have at least an idea of how records are made now. They're made on computers. You can do whatever with computers, but we all grew up making records on tape. It's got a certain sound. It's got a certain set of limitations. You can't go in and just go like, well, that's close enough.
Wow, this is great. Rock and roll is imperfection and flaws and 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 people playing together, and it's not going to line up. It's going to be a little up. It should be, because that's what human beings, you know, human beings aren't perfect.
Say hello.
Hi.
What was really different was the environment doing it at Dave's house, which is the most comfortable environment you can imagine. It's like, it's just fun to be there anyways, and I think the atmosphere of where you're recording has to come out on the record. I don't see how it couldn't.
Look at this crew.
Look at the Hawkins. What, are you kidding me?
The engineers and everybody at one point were like, okay, we're gonna need this and this and this and, you know, $700,000 worth of outboard gear. And Dave's like, no, 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 no. We're making a record in a garage.
I love that we're about to make an album at home. And I think the album's gonna sound like that. I know it will.
If we need to have 3 different drum sounds, wouldn't it be cool to have them cross-fade into each other, like as the other drum sound's starting to come up and the other one's going back?
Wouldn't it be cool if we had a bucket of KFC right now?
So in recording, it usually begins with Taylor and I. The drums first, with the guitar. And at first, it's really to see if Taylor and I lock in with each other.
Did I miss my cue?
Yes, you did.
I go through a process, sort of a self-loathing, I suck process when I'm recording drums. I tend to think that I'm the worst drummer in the world.
Sorry, I messed up the pattern a little bit.
Okay.
When I go back and listen, and I'm listening to what they're recording, I'm like, oh, I'm all over the place. You know, it's not great.
Why, God, why? Sorry, I broke a drumstick.
And then it kind of slowly evolves and comes together after a couple hours. And I have a drum track that I'm really proud of.
The drums, I finished.
I'm still not sure about these days. And I could sit there and agonize all day over one little snare hit or the way a groove feels.
And you will.
And I will.
I'll be playing on the radio all the time, and you'll be going,
Damn
it, snare hit.
Maybe we should have just Pro Tooled the out of this record. At least you know it's perfect.
recording analog like this, knowing that it can't be fixed,